Hey Aries, Anthea Spark here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So tonight I'm very late to do my Aries and my Taurus readings, love readings for the month of June. So I'm doing them tonight. I do apologize, Aries. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. And tonight I'm going to be doing a reading for you. And the reading tonight is going to be all about who it is you need to let go of in order to step into your relationship on a whole new level and deepen the current relationship you have with someone. Or if you're single, this is all about who you need to release in order to attract your new lover or your new divine counterpart into your relationship, okay? And at the end of the reading, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my program that starts on Saturday, which can help you release the energetic ties that bind you to your old lovers, your parents, any toxic relationships that could be holding you back in your life today. So let's get started. And just as I started shuffling, I had heaps of cards flying out at me, right? And the first card I want to bring to your attention is this one, and this is the perspectives card. Yeah, this is all about what you see. Now, here's what you got to understand, Aries, is the way you see things, okay, is not always necessarily the way that they are. And sometimes we see things in a way that can manipulate us to make a drastic decision, especially Aries. I'm an Aries too, so I know exactly how fiery and dramatic and triggered we can become when we see something that triggers a deep wound within us, okay? So let's get a little bit more information here about this card, because this was the first card that came out. So this is the Empress card, and this is all about nurturing. So Aries, I really feel for you that you've been the hermit for a while, hey? You've been in solitude. You've been healing your emotions. See all that water there? And water represents emotions. You've been healing your emotions, and you've become, look at her. Isn't she? She's gorgeous, right? She's in complete solitude, but she's sitting there in front of her emotions, and she's trying to understand herself on a deep level, because she knows when she understands herself that she's really going to become powerful, right? Like more powerful than what she is today. That's what happens when we go deep into our soul. When we dive deep into our soul, we dive deep into our shadow, and we begin to understand who we are. You know what happens? We reincarnate. We become an even better version of who we are. And we're like, you know what? Every day is another chance. It's another opportunity to reinvent myself. And the thing is that when you do this, when you go into this, Aries, and I know that you're strong and powerful, and at times you feel like you don't actually need anyone to do anything, which can be a good quality, but it can also hinder you. It's really important that you understand that when you do this, the past actually doesn't affect you anymore. And the reason why the past doesn't affect you anymore is because you're like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you. You know what? Thank you to all of those experiences, because it brings a sense of freedom. That's what that does. When you go deep into yourself and you're like, you know what? I'm going to let my ego die, right? I'm really going to let my ego dissolve right now. And I'm going to just swallow it all, and I'm going to feel it all, and I'm going to release it all. You come out the other side like this warrior, right? And Aries, you already are a warrior, but here's the thing. You become the chariot. Yeah, look at him. He's standing with his protective gear on, and that's the thing that happens is you begin to understand that to some degree you can live in an open-hearted way whilst protecting yourself in a really powerful way, protecting yourself without a wall, yeah? He doesn't need a wall. Look at him. He's got his protective gear, his tools. He knows how to deal with whatever comes his way, but he's standing a pool of his emotions, in an ocean of emotions, Aries. Look at him. And he's just like, you know what? I got this. And it doesn't matter what comes my way, because I know how to control my emotions. I know how to control my mind. I know how to not ride the waves anymore, the up and down waves of life, because I've learnt those lessons, and I'm just going to walk now. I'm just going to steady pace through. Now, what I want to know, and I feel like we need to get some more information here. Like, this is you, right? This is you, Aries. These were really, really beautiful cards. But I want to know, and so we need some information here about who it is that you need to cut from. So let's just get one more card here. There's so many cards have jumped out at me today with you guys. So many messages about your power being in your shadow. Okay, here we go. Aries, who did you defend yourself against? Who was this lover that you had that you felt like you needed to defend yourself against? And I really feel like this is an old lover. I don't feel like it's a parent. Like most of the other signs cards that were coming up were potentially a parent or an influential figure. I feel like the person you need to cut from is someone who it felt as though literally threw you in under a bus. Yeah, I feel like you assumed there was going to be a really beautiful ending with this person, but it went the other way, and it sent you into this solitude. And where this was painful and devastating and heartbreaking, it's actually made you the person that you are today, right? So I feel like, Aries, this wasn't that long ago. I feel like it's potentially in the last few years. This relationship is from, I'm getting a strong 2018. Could even be a twin flame relationship that, well, we all know that the twin flame relationships always end up in a massive disaster that leads to this deep, deep exploration of who we are, and that we come out the other end so much stronger for it. So I feel like it would be really beneficial for you to cut from whoever this person is. Now, if you see her, she's actually lying under a panel of ice, okay? She can't even move. Like, she's just beyond devastated. And this is, I was talking to a friend last night, and he was describing his breakup as if an earthquake was under his feet, yeah? And everything was destroyed around him. And this is what this card is. This is what this card is all about. She's powerless. She doesn't even know how she's going to get up and face her life and face the day and move on from this devastation, yeah? So let's see what your advice cards are, yeah? And if you're watching and you want to say hi, drop me a little hi in the comments so I know who's here. I can't actually see who's watching. Say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I always like to know. I'm always curious. I'm a curious Aries. I like to know where people are tuning in from. Okay. The first card that's jumped out, and this is your advice card, guys. Okay, so this is all about judgment. Okay, now I want you to think about if you are judging this other person, yeah, because if you are judging them, then there's obviously still some pain there. And what's important is for you to come to a place of peace, a place of understanding of the other person. And this is where this perspective card comes in, right? Very similar cards. Look at them, yeah? Now, the judgment, already I feel as though you have done a lot of work on this, Aries, and it's dissolving. But I feel like, especially if it's a twin flame relationship, there needs to be a little bit more of an understanding. So if you can see the situation from their perspective, even if you don't have all the information that you needed, even if you got ghosted, if you can begin to shift your perspective around their experience with you, it's really going to help you heal 10 times faster. So what do I mean by that? Let's just get a couple of cards from my Heart Wars cards. What do I mean by shifting perspective? Let's say you got ghosted, right? So often when we get ghosted, we're like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? How could they do this to me? All I did was love them. Obviously my love isn't enough. Obviously I can't give them what they want, and the stories go on, right? But if we just snap that victim mentality consciousness for 1 second and you see it from a different perspective and you start to see it as if, what if that person did love me? What if that person really did want the fairy tale ending with me, but they couldn't meet me there? What if my love was poking their wounds too much, right? Now, deep inside you, especially if it's a twin flame relationship, deep inside you, you will have a very, very clear knowing of what it was that caused them to run. And often, Aries, people run away from us when we disconnect from ourselves. So essentially, it's a mirror reflecting back to us that we are the ones who are running from ourselves, and people are just reflecting that back to us. So we've all got lost in a relationship before, right? We've all abandoned ourselves for the dream, for the fairy tale ending with that one delicious soul that came in and cracked our hearts open, right? So, but I want you to really begin to see it through your adult eyes. Yeah, I want you to begin to see, to create a deeper understanding, not for them, not to excuse their behavior, not to excuse their lack of communication, but to free yourself from whatever chains and triggers you're still bound to because of this relationship, because of this connection. Yeah, it's about freeing you. So here's some of the emotions and the contracts and the beliefs that are stored in the shadows, like the walls around your heart. Okay, so that's what these cards are all about. I designed these cards to help people understand what emotions they need to clear that are being stored in that armor that they use to protect themselves. Because when we can pinpoint an emotion, we could go, of course I'm defensive. Where did it come from? Well, it came from my childhood when I was bullied at school. Yeah, and I used to show up with my little ponytails and my long socks that went up to my knee and my little short shorts, and kids would tease me. So I started to defend myself because I didn't know what else to do. Right? So when we can go back and we can figure out when these emotions began, we can begin to heal. We can begin to heal our inner child. We can begin to shine light on our shadow. So these are the emotions, right? So we've got defensive, that was one of them. Ancestral grief. Ancestral grief means that you are carrying grief from your ancestors, okay? So just like when we're born, when we have our, we get our parents' skin color and hair color and eye color and all that kind of stuff, we also get their emotions. They pass down their emotions to us, their wounds, their traumas, all of that. Now, with the ancestral grief, you ever heard the term? You've probably seen posts on Facebook or Instagram where they have this image of, multiple generations, and it says it takes one person to heal the wounds for all of the past generations and all of the generations to come. So if you're watching this, there's a good chance that this is one of your missions, to heal this grief so you don't pass it down to your children and then they pass it down to their children, and then history just keeps repeating itself over and over again. Now, if you already have children, it's not too late. You can still heal it because it's all energy, right? The minute you shift that out of your vibration, it shifts out of your children's vibration too. It shifts out of your parents' vibration too, right? So that's really powerful, guys. If you choose to do that and you want to know more about it, just get in touch and I can talk to you more about how you can do that. And the last one here is the bitter emotion. So I'm often when we have such traumatic experiences, it does leave us bitter, and that's okay, Aries. It's okay that you feel bitter because you were so hurt and deeply wounded and ghosted. However, It's not okay to continue behaving in a bitter way. It's not okay to continue living from that place of being deeply wounded and bitter. It's time to clear it, right? So let's move on to your outcome cards. Let me just get a sip of water. Okay, your outcome cards, okay? So what we have here is we have the Queen of Water. So there's a lot of water in your chart, in your reading today. And Aries, you know, water puts our fire out. It really does. And it's time, if your fire has been put out by life, by these traumatic experiences, it's time for you to start lighting your fire up again. It's time to start, you know, pouring some fuel over your fire so it starts getting big, because I have not met an Aries who has ever had a small fire, right? It's just not who we are. We have big, powerful fires that can transmute and transform. So anyway, moving along. Okay, so this is the Queen of Water, right? And this is all about this gorgeous divine woman. Look at her. She is standing. She's actually under the water, and she's standing there, and she's empowered. She's an alchemist. She is. She has clarity because she's done her inner work. She knows who she is. She's cleared the pain, right? And this is all about exciting times because she's open and she's ready. And the other card that's come out with it is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, now this is just suggesting that your reactions to life are beginning to change, that you actually understand. And it's interesting because it's interesting with the Queen of Water because there's a lot of clarity with these two cards, because you know that the way you react to the situations that are presented to you in life define what's coming next. Yeah, if you're always dropping into victim mode, well, there's a very good chance that next experience you're going to have is just going to replicate that experience over and over again. But when you begin to go, wow, that felt really uncomfortable for me. What do I need to learn from that lesson? How can I evolve from this? You start to have different experiences. You start to have more empowered experiences because the universe is like, oh, she wants to grow. Oh, okay, let's send her something like this. Let's send her a reward for doing that. Let's send her a reflection of how brave she is. Right? And that's how it works. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Aries. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you did get a lot out of it, if it resonated with you, God, I can't even talk. Drop me a little comment so that I know that it resonated with you. And if you're interested in finding out more about my cord cutting masterclass, which is all about helping you release etheric cords from your spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical body, click on the link in the descriptions part of this video. It's an 8-week course. You get 7 sessions. There's a break after one of the weeks in the program. And it's a really powerful program to help you understand your shadow, okay? In your shadow is where your power is. Yes, there's power in your light, but until you dive deep into your own shadow and you understand yourself better, you're kind of driving in the light blind, okay? And just to give you a quick little example, when we're kids and something happens and we suppress that part of us because we've felt embarrassed or wounded or hurt or whatever it is, we actually suppress our essence, a part of our essence with that part of us, okay? And what we do during the cord cutting masterclass is we unlock all of those essences that we've buried deep in our shadow. So it's a really powerful program. You've really got to be ready for it. So if you're listening to me talking and you're feeling the pull and you're like, you know what, I've had enough of my own shit, I'm done with my limitations, I want to let go of that person and stand in my own power, then click on the link, check it out. I'm also running a webinar for it on Friday night. So guys, if you're interested in anything, please drop me a comment. Sending you lots of love, and I will see you guys soon, Aries.